Hi guys, it's Angie, Tekknowgerl. It is 9:01. I'm a minute late getting up, but come on, let's go get our walk in. Oh, it's lovely out here. A little breezy, looks like, but I think we'll be okay. Okay, we're gonna make sure this run keeper stays on because yesterday it stopped. Weird. It looks lovely out here. The grass is all I think we'll go on up to, I don't know. Walk a different way today. So, yesterday was a good day for me. We got out, we got a good walk in, and we got the movie uploaded and everything. Oh, honey, let me tell you. So now it's time for another recertification for my living quarters. And, they want all of this proof of this, proof of that, blah, 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 blah. And, I kind of get sick of having to, make all of these trips here, there, everywhere, just so I can live in my place. Now, it's only once a year, but it's two separate certifications. So one is the housing authority people, and the other one is where I live people. And so, unfortunately, they're not both at the same time. I think the one for the housing authority, that one's in July. And I think it's because it could be coincidence, I don't know. But when I was in the shelter, I had gone in the shelter in July. And I guess that's when the shelter had, automatically applied me for housing assistance. So that was in July. So I'm thinking that's why I have to have a certification in July, because that's when I applied. And when I moved here was in October. And so naturally it's October now, and that's probably why I have to recertify with the property management. I'm just, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of well, I'm just complaining right now because, like I said, it's once a year, so I really ought to be able to handle it once a year. I mean, damn. But I'm very defiant. You know, I don't like to do as I'm told. I'd rather not. I'd rather do what I want to do when I want to do it and leave it at that. Morning. But you know, that's something I guess I just never learned, or I was taught how to not be defiant, or how to not be I don't know. I think it's a very juvenile trait to have. You know, kids are defiant like that, and so, you know, that's something I need to work on. So I did tell you guys that I was telling you yesterday about my well, remember I told you guys that I had been waiting to hear from the Social Security Administration, and I finally heard back from them, and they want me to do a medical evaluation to make sure that I guess I'm still eligible to receive benefits. Well, the appointment is called an internist appointment. I'm not familiar with what that means. I don't know if they're going to, you know, do the test that shows how much fluid is around my heart. So, I mean, because really that would be the only way to tell if my, you know, condition has improved. Now, I take medication for my congestive heart failure, and I take medication for high blood pressure. And then there's another one that I take. Well, naturally, I take supplements. You know, Women's Plus 50 Plus multivitamin. I just started taking a vitamin D supplement, you know, because this is the only time I see outside. Well, not see it. The only time I go outside is when I do this walk. And for a while, I was walking, you know, twice. I would walk in the morning and then again in the afternoon. I'm just stopping here to take my sweater off and put it around my waist, which it seems like I do every day. One of these days, I'm gonna have enough courage to have enough courage to come out here without a jacket at all. And then I won't have to worry about having to stop and put the sweater in my waist. Morning. So yeah, anyway, I didn't eat yesterday, but what I did do was the dishes. I told you guys yesterday that I had dishes in the sink, and actually those dishes stayed in the sink for 2 days. And I said, this is ridiculous. Because, I'm not doing anything all day. Mostly researching, and that's sitting on my ass. So, that's why I feel so bad when I don't get out. Because I know that's all I'm doing is sitting in the house. So I arranged for a ride to get to my appointment. And so I don't have to worry about that. What I usually worry about is trying to trying to combat my anxiety, because I don't want to get myself all worked up. For example, let me give you an example. Yesterday, when we first came out to walk, I was good. Listen to my music, and when I got to the front lobby area, there was all these people. I wasn't a lot of people, but it was more than I was prepared for. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think it was 5. It was like 5 people. And, they were not all around me, but it was, 2 over by the door, Anna's door. One was out front. Then there was the 2 security guards. And it was just a bit much for me. So I, I was a little taken aback. I couldn't really get myself together. So, wait a minute, I walked too far, didn't I? Yeah, I was supposed to stop at the bush, but I saw the big fat ladies. So, I was kind of sidetracked. There's a lot of people out here today. Let's walk this way a little bit more. So, so I have not a mini anxiety attack. I don't know what you call it, but it takes me a minute to regroup when, I see a lot of people. Because, instantly goes through my head like, people are judging me. People are looking at me. I would just rather not be around people. And why did they stop? Dumbasses. Sorry. Anyway, we're going to get up here and stop because the fat ladies, they done stopped. They're not walking like they're trying to lose weight. But look at me judging. I'm so busy talking about people looking at me judging. I'm judging right now. There's an expression that they say within the doors of Alcoholics Anonymous. You always hear people saying little catchy stuff. And one of the things that somebody said was, you spot it, you got it. Meaning, if I can look at somebody and say that they're judgmental, it's because I recognize the behavior. So I have to be mindful of, how I talk to people, how I treat people, not necessarily judging, but just to avoid doing that thing that I don't want somebody to do to me. So that's that. Pardon me. I watched a documentary. I think it's a documentary. But the name of the program is called Real Stories. And there's this guy who weighed like over 1,000 pounds. He was really big. I don't know how far 1,000 is from a ton, but they were, basically measuring this guy, but they used this I don't know, it's kind of a strange it's a strange weighing technique that they use. And I had to pause the show and go to the internet to find out how they were measuring this guy, because they were using a unit called stone. So they said, hey, he's 76 stone. And then I was like, well, how much is that? And then I had to go over to Google and convert stone to pounds. I don't know if they're in the same country or whatever, but this guy was huge. He was so fat that he didn't have a neck. And he couldn't lay on his back. He was so big he couldn't lay on his back because the weight that he had would suffocate him, stop his breathing, block his passages or whatever, and he only could lay on his stomach. And he did finally lose some weight, but it wasn't, he still was eating. He was still eating. I'm just checking on this right quick because my run keeper stopped again. Let me just, oh no, it's still tracking. I don't see it, there it is. Okay, we're doing good. We're doing good. I just want to make sure it doesn't stop. I don't like when it stops. It just messes up my whole little routine because I'm trying to clock stuff. Check the status of this, check the status of that. How many steps am I taking? The thing is like measuring my heart rate and all of that. So I want to make sure that all of my gadgets are working properly. I wonder if I should go that way. I went that way. I stopped going that way because I remember seeing a coyote that way. So I probably shouldn't go that way. But anyway, yeah, so I was curious to know, how this all happens. This guy, the one that I'm telling you guys about, he's been fat all his life. Well, I don't say fat all his life. That's not the way to say it. But he's had weight control issues all of his life. And he said that he was never full. He was always hungry. And so because of that, he was eating all the time. He even went so far as to say if, you sat down at the table with him and everybody could, finishes their dinner, he said he could eat like 5 more dinners. And, that was like, wow, okay. Then there was another guy. Now this guy just started gaining weight. He wasn't like that all the time. So he had lost a substantial amount of weight. And then he said once he had gotten to, a specific weight, that he celebrated by having a hot dog and some French fries. And he said he couldn't understand it, but he had to have 5 hot dogs. He said once you have one, you have to have another, and then you have to have another. I was like, wow. So this guy mostly was trying to lose weight because he wanted to set a good example for his son. And so he had lost a large amount of weight. And Richard Simmons was his mentor. And Richard Simmons, he's all about eating healthy and exercising. And then, of course, he's about the positive reinforcement, positive thinking, learning to love yourself, things like that. And so there's a clinic that specifically targets morbidly obese individuals. And basically what they do there at the clinic is positive reinforcement, naturally, and then engaging in, exercises to help you burn calories and, strengthen your muscles. Now, my goodness, I don't want a car that does that. Scared the shit out of me. Anyway, so I'm sorry guys, that kind of threw me a little bit. Thought it was gunshots, which I guess you wouldn't hear in this neighborhood. I've not heard any gunshots since I've been here. Anyway, so I was telling you guys this story about the program Real Stories is because I've got to keep reminding myself that as long as I burn more calories than I consume, I should be okay. Because we know from last year, I had changed my eating habits, and I really don't know how I ended up discounting that. I was eating smaller portions. I was eating a lot of vegetables. Butternut squash was my favorite, and acorn squash, asparagus, Brussels sprouts. I can't think of any others right now. And naturally greens. I ate a kale salad. This week, either Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, you know, kale is not my thing. I think it tastes gross. And I mixed it with some other greens. And it was really good. So I think I'll buy more greens. My problem is this. You know, I'll spend money on the groceries and then run out of not run out. You know, the produce will go bad if you don't eat it right away. So I find that I've been you know, grocery shopping, or, you know, ordering groceries like every few days. And that's not cool for me because, you know, I don't have money like that. So in the comments below, you guys tell me how I can eat healthy and fresh without having to go to the grocery store every 3 days or whatever. Because that's not cool. I mean, you know, the produce is inexpensive, but the problem is, you know, having to get it every few days. That's the problem. All right, guys. Get back in. Let's see. Oh, come on. Yeah, it's about time. So yeah, if you guys could help me out with that. I don't like cauliflower. Unless you can give me a recipe that makes it taste okay, don't suggest cauliflower. I had some cauliflower rice, I guess it's called, and it was in cheese sauce. That wasn't too bad. But if there would be a way, because they have all of these, like there was this one recipe called buffalo cauliflower wings or buffalo wings. And I'm like, how do you, that's not buffalo wings, it's cauliflower. But anyway, yeah, so give me some ideas. I don't eat a lot of vegetables. I did. At that time, last year, I was doing a lot of research on the internet to find different vegetables. I still got to get more greens, which reminds me, I got to throw out some greens that I had put in the refrigerator, and I was going to eat them yesterday, and I didn't eat anything yesterday. I had a lot of coffee. I got caught up on the internet, and because I am prone to habits, just sipping on the coffee, not a big deal, but sipping on it all day is a big deal. My poor heart must have been racing. Okay, we made it up here. We did good, guys. So I'm still contemplating on whether I want to explore more into the plant-based diet, and I've got to keep reminding myself that this is a lifestyle change. I know I said originally, when I first started this journey, I said that it was because I wanted to get myself in shape for Brittany's wedding. And well, if I can do it for Brittany's wedding, I can do it for my life. So I just this just has to be something that I have adapted into my everyday life, because it's not a joke at all. I gotta get it right. Hey, how are you? Oh, look, you guys got stuff. Lots of stuff. All right, guys. So look, we did good. 4 days in a row. We're on a roll here. Just got to keep it up. But again, I say to you, one day at a time. It seems like when I just focused on the one day, getting up, getting out, walking, coming back, I don't overwhelm myself with responsibility. If I can stick it one day at a time and just go it that way, then I think I'll be able to make this change in my life again. So my focus now is on my nutrition, and any ideas from you guys would be great. Any suggestions? If you know some YouTube channels of people that are eating healthy and clean, articles, anything like that. I know that my good friend Team Mojo, she's got a wealth of information, and she's a teacher. So she's kind of encouraging me on the educational side to kind of delve into research on different things that are going on in my life. So thank you, Team Mojo. I appreciate you. And I guess that's it. All right, you guys, that's it for today's video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.